It's been a year, but summer continues at Camp Campbell. We're talking Season 2, Episodes 1, 2, and 3 of Camp Camp, and it starts right now.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Good evening, campers, and welcome to AFTERBUZZ TV's Camp Camp After Show. Tonight we're talking about the Season 2 return of Camp Camp, but first, I'm joined by my fellow counselors, our new counselors. First of all, Stacey Shuttleworth.
Hi guys, I'm Stacey Shuttleworth. Really excited to be a counselor this year. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Stacey Shuttles or all across the web at Nerds Doing Stuff.
And of course, the one and only Andrew Mena.
Hey guys, I'm Andrew Mena. If you want to find me on Twitter, it's at Andrew Mena. Instagram is the Andrew Mena, so that's a great thing.
And I'm the internet's Mark Donica. You can find me on Twitter at Mark Donica. Make sure to follow all things ABTV Rooster Team by following that on Twitter, ABTV Rooster Team. We've got so many campers in the chat right now despite running so late.
Yay!
It's
hey campers!
wonderful.
Welcome!
Good evening, campers. I'm so happy Camp Camp is back.
Oh man.
Me too.
Me three.
It's my absolute favorite to the point where I downloaded it all on my phone, probably illegally, but you know, why not?
Yeah.
It's available.
Yeah.
It's on the internet. I don't think it's illegal. It's free for the people.
It's just I don't want to use my connection.
Right.
And in terms of our other counselors, Megan and Katie are already in Austin for RTX later this week, and Patrick is getting ready to fly out either tonight or early tomorrow, so he couldn't make it here tonight either. But really wanted to do a show before the convention because man, this show is just too good.
It is the best.
So since you are joining us as new counselors, let's get to know you a little bit. I'm going to start with Andrew. If you were a child,
yes,
and your parents said, "Hey, I'm going to take you to this wonderful camp where you can go to any camp that you want," what camp would you go to Camp Campbell for?
Drama camp, definitely. That was the one that I would have jumped into immediately.
Best friends with Preston, huh?
Probs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. What a world that would be.
How delightful.
How delightful.
Imagine the productions.
Would you audition? Would you you do a song? Would you do how would you counter Preston's
magic? His delightful magicking. I would probably. Gosh, put me on the spot. I don't know what I'd do.
Well, since he has to focus on Shakespeare.
You're right. I would pale in comparison to Preston. I would probably just cry and sit in a corner and probably not do much. You're right. I would do nothing at the camp. In fact, that's my new answer.
You'd go with high spirits and then just see Preston.
Oh, look at all this talent. Oh God. Oh, I feel so small.
Somebody already has my shtick. I'm just not going to do anything.
Yeah, exactly. Just give up, and then you can never fail.
Well, welcome to Drama Camp. Welcome to Camp Campbell. Stacey, what camp would you go to Camp Campbell for?
I would go to any camp if it had horses. So I am there
Equestrian camp.
Equestrian camp. Yep. Yeah, I'd probably be very confused when I got there and it was like a stick pony.
That would be amazing.
Like this is not what I signed up for. Where's the stables? And then I'd probably make do. Let's be real.
The stick ponies are easier to clean up after, though.
I would like that part of it, I guess. Yeah. I'd probably come to appreciate it.
Wooden poo.
Oh
no.
Now that
Sound better.
What Victor Frankenstein is creating these stick horsemen.
It was made on Spooky Island and then brought into the coming back.
Right.
So other thing we'll do, I didn't put this on the sheet and I'm sorry, but how are your feelings on the show by the end of season 1?
Oh man, I mean, I'm gonna answer that because I just feel emotional about it. But like emotional, there's that one line that at the end that that David says. I forgot his name for a second. That David says just at the end there, you know, and someone has to care, you know, and he curses for the first and only time I think in the entire series, and it's just very powerful and very real and very honest, and I appreciate all of that so much. It's so genuine that it just struck me and resonated with me.
It became more than just a silly show.
Absolutely, and it made yes, absolutely.
How about you, Stace?
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of caught by how it seemed very superficially silly with all the characters, and you know, they were very clearly playing to tropes, but then they dug deeper into it and we got this kind of a lot of characters that you didn't think you'd identify with that you kind of started to care about and identify with, and by the end I was kind of an emotional.
We were all Space Kid.
We are.
We're all Space Kid.
Kid.
You're just sweet Space Kid.
Yeah, this I can't tell you how many times I've rewatched the outro. Ever since the soundtrack came out, the "Keeper of the Flame" song that played during the credits. That one's it's really great too. And yeah, the whole world that it created immediately got shaken up in the very first episode of season 2, Cult Camp.
Oh boy,
where Gwen is just bursting at the seams with energy. Why? Completely different person. Who are you and what have you done with Gwen?
Yeah, I was like, wait, is that Gwen? What
Hell
happened?
no.
What happened this time?
So what was everybody's first impression of Daniel?
There was something very wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
I mean, the all white really gives it away as like, oh, there's something, you don't do that.
Yeah,
All white
there's a
was
problem
not
here.
all right.
Yeah, all white, not all right. Tweet it out to the world. That and then just that he looked exactly the same. Just kind of a dead giveaway. Is like, oh, this is going to be disturbing.
Yeah, the fact that he was almost the exact same character type was kind of like, oh, they're going to play off of each other in a real interesting way.
It looked like they just took like a version of David and colored him differently. Like,
I mean, that's probably the easiest thing to do.
Right?
Yeah. A little spooky. Little too spooky. But we kind of Max instantly sort of figures out the type of person that he is initially as a joke, but then once we start getting the Z-Moog and the Galactic Confederacy, and the neck cracking.
Oh man!
Wow, a little bit too much. But
or the right amount for everyone to be like, let's get rid of this person.
Except no one is.
Only 3 people.
But the only 3 people that would do anything.
Well, I think that's why they had to get Gwen out of there.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, very true.
She would have shut that down
I thought that too.
immediately.
And even Quartermaster wasn't taken aback by it.
Yeah. Well,
Best
Quartermaster isn't phased by anything.
Especially poison.
He totally knew. He just didn't care. I mean,
This'll be fun. Yeah.
but the story.
He mentioned something that I think was a reference to another cult.
He
It was.
did
And I
was
that.
like, great.
Yeah, he did that.
Tastes better in Jonestown.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happened.
Just gross.
That's a very solid impression.
Oh, we talked to Shannon a lot. The voice actor, yeah. he's a good guy. Yeah, one of the biggest highlights in terms of development and coming off of the end of season 2 that I got from this was how Max and David's relationship changed. Because it was less of Max trying to push his buttons and legitimately trying to shake him back to reality of like, you can't be this nice all the time, but then like there was a sense of trust there. Because he had to go and get mind controlled or cleansed in order for David to wake up, but he had to have that trust in him that he would be able to save everybody's lives.
Yeah, I did not believe for a second, like, well, initially I didn't believe for a second that he was gonna do that, but then the fact that he did was like so telling and so like you said, trust, like such a sense of trust.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and despite all of his fighting against it, he does see David as that figure that he can look up to and count on. And we're kind of seeing that a little bit more.
Gosh, I feel like
as it develops.
Yeah, and I feel like that line at the end of season 1 is just so like it informs so much of how Max feels now about him, and yeah.
Don't look too far into this. This
our
sucks.
Feelings though.
Yeah.
Our feelings.
No feelings. None.
And of course, what some people would say is the highlight of the episode is the devil went down to Camp Camp. We get a camp song duel between David and Daniel. How did you think they did?
It was a wonder. it was
Magic.
piece of art. I mean, it was a masterpiece.
It was visual and verbal poetry. It was delightful. I thought David won, like, pretty clearly.
Yeah.
He was being a little bit more passive, though. You know,
think so?
He's just like, I think I'm better. Where David was just like, the thing that stuck out to me was he said, "You've only
Sung his praises.
You've only sung my praise, not yours," and that's pretty telling.
Yeah.
How much confidence you have in yourself.
Yeah, and it does say a lot about
That's a good
David's
point.
character.
Yeah.
No, he tries to find the good in everybody.
Yep.
Made a purification sauna. You built a sauna. That is not the right word to focus on.
Very true.
I've watched the first episode way too many times, but this brings David a lot closer to being an official Disney princess. as we refer to him, because now he has had his 2 songs now, and he's just a wonder. Did anybody expect it to happen to roll out the way it did, with Daniel drinking his own poison?
Oh wait.
Oh wait.
Oh wait. Yeah, this is such a wonderful moment of comedy. They're just like, oh, oh god. Yeah,
He did that. He did that.
I mean, I hoped he would be undone by his own thing, hoisted by his own petard, but I wished that it would be a little bit more directly because of David, which you could argue that it is. This is all because he, like, goaded him into a song fight, and this boy is too vain to, like, let himself, like, not give the best possible performance.
And he got too lost in the performance to focus on not drinking poison. So
Yeah.
David did win, and it was a result of his actions.
Exactly.
But
he gets the XP.
He gets the XP. But considering that it wasn't on purpose, especially with the line afterwards, like, oh, must have been some bad punch.
Yes.
Just like, you're just the biggest idiot.
Well, that was the thing. He still didn't understand exactly what had happened.
Right.
Or what was dangerously close to happening. And so, like, all right, David.
You take the intent away, and David can remain a pure cinnamon bun.
He's still kind of a bumbling, cinnamon bun. He's a bumbling cinnamon bun. I'll give
Cinnamon
him that.
bumble.
He is.
He's a bubble bun.
A bubble bun.
Bubble bun.
Okay.
Cinnamon
Bubble bun. Yeah.
Don't make that song in my head now. Thank you, Mark.
Well, no, just think of the duel instead. And then get it stuck in your head.
Okay.
Let's move on to episode 2, Antisocial Network. We get Neil's episode finally, and even though he wasn't in it a lot, Space Kid has one of my favorite gags in it where Max has got his coffee and he just sets it down and they just have a whole conversation. And it, without even acknowledging it, I had the feeling of a Space Kid just going, you know what, I'm just not gonna move. I don't want his coffee to spill.
Hang out
Such a good.
help him out.
I'm just gonna help Max out.
Yep.
It's just such a nice little boy.
I love that like silly little moment with I forget the bully's name right now, but
Nerf.
Thank you. Where he goes, Chris, why did you leave me? And he has the you don't know. You don't know if I haven't explored before. Chris, why did you leave me? In the face.
I know. He's so self-aware, like in a wonderful way that comes out in like the best moments.
That's like my favorite new trope. I hope that they make it a trope, like the self-aware bully. It's like, I know I'm doing this to you. It's also doing it to me. Like, just, it's so good.
It is good. He's
and he gets even better in episode 4, which we're not talking about today because that's a first members thing. But
we're not those. Well, are you?
Yes.
You are?
Yeah. You'll like it.
I gotta join the club.
It's Friday. You'll get it. It'll be great.
Cool.
It'll be a nice time.
Sweet.
Do you just because of how overtly he was just treating everybody like garbage, even Nikki, even Max, even supposedly his 2 best friends at the camp? Do you think he actually cares for anybody, or they're just a means to an end?
Honestly, I think he's kind of one of the biggest jerks at that camp. Like, I mean, Max acts like a jerk constantly and is totally a jerk, but Neil is, I don't really think he cares all that much.
It's pretty apparent.
Yeah.
No, he's a very uncaring kid. Like the fact that he just wants like alone time is like totally like we get that, right? But like to the point of like tricking everyone to that degree, I don't know, man.
Well, and especially when after he's had the alone time, because like I totally get that. I need to go and be away from people for good chunks of time, and then I'm ready to go socialize, which is it's very hard. But so I get that.
Yeah.
But like the fact that he goes back out there and then is like, no one's paying attention to me. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a nice like flip in terms of like. Oh,
what we were expecting.
He's going to learn the error of his ways, and then oh no, I actually miss talking to people. But it was his technology outsmarting him that made him mad, and then brought him back around. Who was your favorite chatbot? Whose chatbot was your favorite?
I mean, Nikki showed her cats, so I mean that's the most advanced one I'm aware of. So I'm gonna go with that.
Highest tech.
Yes.
I really, really enjoyed Aaron's conveation with the
like,
chatbot.
I know, right?
That was, hearing that in like Neil's robotic voice was really great.
I mean, it's hard. It's really hard to not love David's just because it was the purest chatbot. Like those are the old aimbots that we used to get on AOL Instant Messenger. But he was falling for the hook, line, and sinker because I don't know if he's had a computer. He's just lived outside his entire life.
He's lived in a log cabin.
I mean, we know when he gets to go relax, he goes camping, so
Yeah.
that is all he does.
It brings up Siberia Winks in chat says, episode 2 also shows us things have changed between Max and David. Max in season 1 would have never spent an entire day in David's presence. Which is true.
That's very true.
And yeah, he's still teasing him, but it's in a pretty harmless way, considering. Usually it's with a much more malicious intent.
No identity theft and...
Right.
I wonder if David and Bonquish are still dating.
That's a good question.
I wonder.
That's a great question.
I wonder if we get that. If we get that checked back.
Let's check back in with her.
Really
Yeah.
nice. little
Let's get
throw-in.
her episode. Let's
Yes,
get that
please.
date episode.
Wonderful.
Where the kids follow along like kids in a three kids in a trench coat, sort of a thing.
Ooh.
That'd be great.
That needs to happen.
I agree.
And this was also a continuation of Nikki just being a pure cartoon with her 90-degree running up the tree.
She's great.
Oh, that was amazing.
They've just taken everybody and went, oh, that... Okay, let's just
Great,
turn
let's
that up.
crank it.
Okay,
Yep.
let's crank that up a bit.
To 11.
Crank that up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, this... what were some of your other favorite parts of Antisocial Network?
Oh man, the part where Neil chokes out, isn't it? Gosh, I keep forgetting names today. I'm sorry. Where a bit more subtext.
Preston.
Preston, yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And he's just choking. A bit more subtext. It's delightful.
God!
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then divide by 0. That made me
That
really
was
happy.
really good.
Yeah. I liked the cartoonishly oversized Ethernet port
Oh,
yeah.
and Ethernet cable, which led to a 14-year connection.
Jamming the calculator just into the...
Yeah, that works.
That'll do it.
Totally.
Technology.
That's it. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
And then he dragged himself to the trash to kill himself.
Oh.
That was really depressing.
That was really sad.
Neil was trying to be all nice, like, we can learn together.
He's like, nah.
Nah. I'm good.
I'm
Thanks.
out.
Dumb.
Fuck that noise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of these three, I'd say Antisocial Network was kind of the smallest in scope.
I think you're right.
It was just everybody together, even just Neil in his tent, in his camp, I suppose. Oh, we did get Nikki as a sweet box robot with leftover parts. That was pretty fun.
Yeah.
I also like how everything that we got in the Camp Camp trailer for season 2 has been the first couple of episodes. So we're going to be getting into uncharted territory, and maybe we'll have another trailer. We'll probably see a lot more at RTX and get shown a lot more things at RTX. Jazz41173 says, Nikki, play games. Max, look at boobs.
Yeah.
I mean, play games.
Yeah.
You're that.
Malachroma, God, could you imagine if someone naive and impressionable were to, oh my God, Nikki!
Oh yeah, they
so
were so
good.
worried, which was kind of cute.
Yeah,
There was a little genuine moment there.
Yeah.
Just to be super concerned.
They know
about
each other just well enough to be really worried all the time.
And I'd say even more so in episode 3, Quest to Sleepy Peak Peak.
Yep.
Where we get Gwen even more, seemingly more interested in the kids' well-being instead of just being like a blase, like, God, I need to get out of here.
Yeah.
Which is weird. I'm
weird.
just so used to her just hating everything.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really get to see what triggers her turn, if this is a turn that she's taking.
Well, it might have been also the end of season 2 going,
Probably.
oh, all of these kids actually, they mean something to me, and they can come together for a good cause and
That's
whatever, but...
Right.
It feels like there's more there that we're not seeing, maybe. Maybe that's part of it? Is that like they're going to reveal some things that happened, maybe, in uncharted territory? We get a Gwen episode, I would hope.
I would love
That
a
would
Gwen
be
I would
episode.
love a Gwen
Wonderful.
episode.
I would even want a part 2 of Cult Camp to be Gwen's Day
The
Off.
continuation. Oh, that would be
Yeah.
And then her
Yeah.
meeting Jen.
Yeah.
And just like, even the Jen part, because it's the only part we know, being just such a small, like, hey, you need somebody to talk to, or something like that.
Yeah.
But we need raw Gwen.
We need some, yeah, exactly. We need some raw, pure Gwen.
We need to feel the...
Uncut Colombian Gwen.
I was going to go with gravitas, but no,
Okay,
let's go with drug.
Watch Narcos on Netflix.
So this, I don't know if y'all knew this, but this episode was originally supposed to be one of the 2 episodes that came from the extension in season 1. But now watching it, you can understand why there wasn't enough people and resources to get this done in a short amount of time. So they let it sit a little bit, and instead we got a Harrison episode. So we got one Magic Kid episode instead of another Magic Kid episode. But this one makes Harrison look like an asshole.
But I kind of think his episode didn't do too much to make him look like a good guy either.
Nah, I mean, but they made, and as evidence in Antisocial Network, Neil's an asshole too. All of these kids are assholes.
I guess that's fair.
I mean, in episode 2, at one point, someone says, and I didn't write down who, but they go, they're just shitty people. It's like, yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
well, everyone's
yeah.
just shitty people. Mm-hmm. Yep. Welcome to the world.
But yeah, if you didn't like Neris before, even though she only had a little bit, the best.
I love Neris.
She's
now.
wonderful.
Yeah.
She's
She's delightful. I did notice that a lot of people online were like, "Oh, Neris is a girl" after this episode.
Really?
Yes.
They couldn't tell.
I'm one of those people.
Really? You didn't-
Yeah, I totally.
You didn't know Neris was a girl?
Yeah.
Even though she was voiced by Barb, the same woman who voices.
That doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't
Fair.
mean anything.
This is a cartoon.
Nancy Cartwright. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
No.
But yeah, but
If you notice on the character design, the eyelashes are the stereotypical.
Well, I was rewatching it today, and I'm like, oh yeah, that she does look pretty feminine, I guess, like
can see it now.
in the cartoony way. I was like, all right.
I had suspicions at the beginning of the episode, and then by the end,
And you do art. Please make Cardcaptor Space Kid. Please.
Yes. And then make if I could just get the whole series of cards, but as the Camp Camp kids.
Okay, that's a little bit too far.
No, that's what I want. Don't diminish my needs.
So we go on a quest. Max doesn't want to go. He's just trying to make money. He's trying to make all of Nerf's bullying money.
His out for this episode. I just love it so much. Where he's just like, nope.
You got dice? Nope.
I ain't coming.
Oink.
Gone.
So we get a little bit of a proper quest, and we find out proper characters for everybody. Now, I know this is easy for you,
Totally.
but just in general, in terms of D&D and fantasy, what is your alignment?
Ooh, neutral good.
Neutral good, very
Neutral
nice. Yeah. Well,
I'm pretty settled on chaotic good.
chaotic good.
No.
I'm actually pretty lawful good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
we're all good people.
We're all good.
On the outside.
Bum bum bum.
Damn it. Non-binary space. Yeah. Take 2. Non-binary space kid. My gender fluid ass is down for that.
That was good. Let's use 2.
Yeah. And let's go back and 2. Thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you, Josh. Check the gate. We're done.
Yeah.
And more Nikki being a cartoon of just the stopping in midair.
Oh, yeah, that was wonderful.
All the time.
And
She's the mask. It's great.
yeah, she's the mask.
Yeah.
When are we gonna get a Nikki episode?
I need one.
One could
about time.
One could argue that every episode is a Nikki episode because he's one of the main 3, but a proper adventure camp.
Yeah.
Episode.
I want her to get like raised by wolves, where she just like goes off for a day and is raised by wolves for that day.
Oh yeah, she just disappears from everyone. She
yeah.
comes back. So what did you do today? You
Hang out
know.
with some wolves.
I mean, we technically we got her talking to wolves in the campery episode.
I mean, that's why we need more.
and it's
She
not.
stayed friends with the wolves.
You're
Yes.
tired. You're tired
So-
of wolves.
I'm
Is
not
what
tired of
you're
wolves. No.
You want to do otters? What are you thinking? Marmots?
I'm all about
What?
marmots.
No,
Mammals?
we're gonna go find the
we
other
don't have to do
platypus.
mammals. You're right. I'm pigeonholing us.
But she's had a lot of featured parts, but it's not been about her adventuring. Like her being in the city and slowly turning into a regular girl and dying like E.T. And then her with the Flower Scouts, but that was more about the Flower Scouts than it was about her. What did anybody... So we've got... The rodent uprising is still a thing. Didn't just go away.
Right.
Nope, it's there.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Brewing in the background.
Oh man, eye patch squirrel. Oh man.
Serious
Snake's Squirrel Pliskin?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yep.
I guess we'll go with that. Or solid squirrel?
Snake Fury or Squirrel Fury.
Squirrel Fury. I'll get
Squirrel
that.
Fury.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nick
I'm done.
Squirrel. Okay.
Nick
No, Squirrel
Squirrely?
Fury.
Yeah.
Nick
Squirrel Fury.
Squirrely.
Yeah.
Nick Squirrely. Now that one. That is a
Nailing it.
caper.
All right.
But we got a 20-sided ass kicking.
Yes.
And I kind of agreed with Harrison with the you kind of just beat up some animals.
Some animals.
It's kind of a dick to be
Super
honest.
dick move. She like killed some of those squirrels with those dice, like with that throw.
Took them
She like
out.
like ninja stars. She's highly trained.
Yeah, in dice throwing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't just leave them there though.
No.
That's some valuable
She
gear.
did seem to have a lot, and maybe she has like stock in dice at this point, where she's like, "Oh, if I just buy more dice, that's good for me and the economy."
And she can be ready.
She's very savvy.
in case anybody finally wants to play with her, she can be like, I've got all the dice you need.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah,
not?
she probably could supply the whole camp with dice.
Yeah, there's
Everyone could play.
there's like a pound of dice on Amazon for like $20, you guys, which
That's
you could
great.
totally buy me.
You can find my
saying.
Amazon. Everybody in chat is missing the platypus, which I totally agree with.
Yep.
I want a platypus episode where somehow he turns human, or the platypus turns human.
Ooh, I like
and
that.
becomes a camper that nobody else gets except for the 3.
Question:
Yeah.
Does he have to switch bodies with a camper?
That would be amazing.
Okay.
Oh, I like that too.
Is it Nikki?
Can Nikki and the platypus switch?
Yes!
Yeah. That's her episode.
Thank you.
If he
Done.
switches bodies with the
With the
platypus,
platypus.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Imagine how much fun she would
Oh,
have
she would have
as
such a
this
great platypus day.
she'd be poison. Like,
Yeah.
She would have the best time.
She would fight a bear.
ever.
She would fight a bear.
And she would take it
She
down.
would take that guy down.
I am all about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like Harrison with some magic mishap.
Yeah.
And it's like a Freaky Friday sort of a thing.
Ooh, I love
See?
that.
The setup is there. We have all the pieces we need.
And then it becomes a Sherlockian mystery for the other campers. What happened and how?
Why
And they
is
have to
Nikki
figure it.
acting like
It's a 2-parter.
But then Quartermaster, he knows the whole
He
thing.
comes out of the TARDIS because he's a Time Lord.
Yeah.
And
Pulls out the Necronomicon's like, you just gotta read from this.
Gwen is very disappointed, but we move on. And
Man.
there we go.
I'm going to. It's going to take everything in me not to talk to the story crew when we're at RTX because we have interviews with them, and not just pitch them an episode
Just,
for 15 minutes.
just do it. Just do
Hey,
it.
can we get an episode where Nikki and the platypus switch bodies?
Need it.
Yep.
That was submitted by a fan, Dark Monica.
Dark Monica. Dark Monica
Yeah.
does not sound different enough from you,
It is fair.
but it also sounds like a wonderful supervillain.
Dark
Does.
Monica.
Dark Monica. She's the most evil Monica in the entire office building. She always takes parking spaces and never leaves coffee.
Why not?
Dark Monica.
Terrible person.
When did everybody get sort of pulled out of the episode? When did red flags start to go up for this episode, or did any happen at all?
I mean, when they were standing around a little ring of lava, I was like, okay, what? There's something like, but it did not end how I expected.
No, for me it was like, oh, that's weird. It's a cartoon.
Yeah, I was kind of like, oh, that's odd.
Yeah.
And then when Nikki takes the tumble, I'm kind of like, wait a second,
Yeah.
hold on.
What?
When
What?
Nikki hits the thing.
I like
was
how
like,
Yeah.
it's not
Wait.
the Harry Potter-esque magical duel
I know, I
with the
was
Kamehameha
fine with
Nope.
that.
and force lightning.
I
That
was
was
like,
fine.
whoa.
Like,
Yes.
They've got real magic.
Yeah.
Go. Yeah, no, I was on board for that. It was when she actually hit the lava. I was like, wait a second, they wouldn't do that.
This was so epic. I was just like, oh, their powers are being unlocked. This is everything.
Right?
Well,
The magic of the volcano.
especially because
Brought it all out.
we've learned that Harrison might have legitimate magic powers.
And there's also a real prophecy.
yeah.
Yeah.
That quartermaster has a stone with the prophecy on
He
it.
does.
I like how it's
a real
an
thing.
An attachment.
Yep.
Yes.
We got a red cup and a volcano prophecy.
He's got a Swiss Army hook.
Beautiful.
Yeah, really. But the Nikki falling into the lava, especially they sold it with the squirrel falling in and then everything.
Right.
Eye
You know,
patch
it's like-
last. I wrote that down.
Yeah.
Eye patch was the last thing to burn, which doesn't make any sense.
No,
But I love it.
why not?
Drama.
Yes, it's the drama.
It's like, well, I guess there goes the squirrel storyline because it's dead.
Yeah. I was like,
I
that
guess
squirrel
that's
actually
it.
stuck
But
in the
no.
lava.
And then
Disintegrated.
Max ruins bloody everything. It's like, what the hell are you guys doing? God, when I watched this with my wife, she like, and Nikki was falling, and she was just like, wait, what? And then Max went, and she went, wait, what? It was amazing.
Yeah.
And my favorite, I'd have to say one of my favorite lines in these first 3 episodes so far was like, oh, that was supposed to be tomorrow's pudding.
And it will continue to be tomorrow's pudding.
Yup. Quartermasters don't care.
Yeah.
Dude.
I mean, Squirrel and Nikki and Max foot pudding,
Yeah.
they've probably eaten worse.
I'm sure.
Oh, they should.
That's nothing.
And nobody was taken aback by Neil being blinded.
No, also
No.
no. Oh, he goes, this could affect the rest of my life. And I was like, it could.
Yeah,
it could.
maybe.
I'm suspending my disbelief.
Neil, are
my
you seeing
goodness.
Neil, are you seeing this? I'm gonna hit you, Nikki!
That was great.
No, this is gonna be good.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
This is
Although I do love how it was Max that broke the suspension, like that was the suspension of disbelief there. That he disappears the whole episode because he would not have gone along
Yeah.
with any of that crap.
Yeah.
And he wades back in at the end and just like, guys, what the hell?
Y'all suck.
I will say I had,
Dumb.
I guess my flash moment though of like being like, oh wait, maybe not, was when she pulls out the popcorn. I was, where'd she get that popcorn? And she's like roasted over. That was the moment. I was like, wait a second, where'd she get that popcorn though?
Oh, I thought that was totally logical.
As cartoony
made a lot
as
of
Nikki
sense.
is, like, where'd she get that popcorn?
I know.
Yeah.
I just remember saying that out loud to myself. Wait, where'd she get that popcorn?
Because I can totally imagine.
Stupid idiot.
I can imagine a moment where Nikki's going, "We're going to Volcano. I'm gonna bring that Jiffy Pop."
Oh yeah, yeah. Like in the little flashback, she packed popcorn. She packed
yeah.
like s'mores she could roast. She was ready.
I like it. I liked a lot the line that that Harrison has when he goes, "I'll grow into my looks."
Yeah. My mom says I will
grow
grow into my looks.
That's very sad.
I forget his name, but I love that voice actor. Just because of his natural accent makes Harrison that much more compelling of a character.
Yes.
And that much more adorable.
I agree.
Yeah.
Even though he's a jerk to the best character, Neris. Anyway. Neris
is the
They
great
got
character.
they got
Do
a
you
rivalry
ship it?
coming.
Narison? Yeah,
Yeah.
I can chip Narison.
I feel like it's gotta happen.
Jump on that ship. Why not?
Yeah, they're both very confident people.
Can join my fleet.
The Camp Camp fleet?
Yes.
Oh, she's got a whole fleet.
I have.
She's got a
this
big
is, this
fleet.
is all encompassing.
You're gonna love Issa. The lead animator on the show, like, makes fan art for her own show.
Oh yeah,
That's
I
amazing.
know her on Twitter. Yeah, I
Like
see her on Twitter.
she made a flash forward of Camp Camp High School where she ships Nikki and Max,
Great.
but only in
Beautiful.
high school because they're kids and that's weird.
Yeah, exactly. And they have to
Absolutely
figure
fair.
that stuff out for themselves.
Exactly.
guys.
Don't force it.
Right.
All of the characters.
All of the
hey,
cameras.
hey.
Cameras from wherever you are.
get 'em
Hey,
all?
yeah,
Hey.
get them all. Get them all.
There you go.
Yeah.
That was dedication.
That would be
Yeah.
even
to the
better if
message.
Josh didn't switch cameras and it was
No.
just me turning it
It's
back
just,
to the
yeah,
camera.
it's just you switching around like a maniac.
I kind of hope that was the case, to be quite honest.
We'll find out later.
Hassan Youssef says, I thought they were going to kiss at the end of the episode.
I thought they might, but they're kids and they don't have to.
No. Maybe a nice hug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe like a cool like handshake, but then one of them like slicks their hair back real
See,
quick.
that seems more realistic
Yeah.
to me. That's more where they're at this
But you
point
can
in
tell they
life,
love each
I think.
other through it, you know, where it's
There's
like,
that undercurrent.
And then it's like whoever is the victim of that like is in a huff, and the other person like pushes them, and they both smile. And
Yeah,
then it cuts
exactly.
Back to the scene. It's like,
Yep. You should write for the show,
Innocent, I know.
Mark.
Look at-
You know
you
what?
go.
I should.
Yeah.
Nope. Yotam Perel, thank you, is the voice of Harrison. But do you think we're going to see any fulfillment of the end times?
Oh, I love that. I wrote that down too.
I know. I don't know. I feel like with this show, it very well could just be a one-off. But we saw the Scroll Army show back up, so maybe.
And we don't know how they got rid of Jen.
Right?
That's true.
I mean, it's a basic cartoon thing of next episode, everything's back
Reset,
to one.
yeah, we
Yeah.
have a full reset.
So I feel like maybe not, though I would really enjoy like a post-apocalyptic episode of Camp Campus also, where Max is just riding around on a motorcycle,
I think
shooting zombie devils.
another great Camp Camp animator that does fan art is Jordan Battle. He has been making the campers as Overwatch characters.
Love it.
And
Who's who?
Into
Should we
it.
guess?
yeah, guess why not?
Who's Max? Max is Soldier 76.
No.
No?
Oh, come on, Max is an edgelord.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
Max
guess
is
you're
for
right.
sure
Yeah.
Reaper. That is
you're
absolutely
Reaper.
true.
Okay, all right.
Nikki is Diva.
Okay.
Neil
I would have
is
put her as Winston.
Neil is Winston because
Okay.
of science.
Oh, okay.
I like that.
All right. That
and
works
the,
better.
and the
you're
only
right.
other one that I remember is Nerf is Roadhog.
Yep.
That's the
great.
only one I
Okay,
remember.
yeah.
Fits.
Everybody else post them in because why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us all the things.
So
I need to know.
before we get to our camp activities, looking forward to the rest of season 2. What we've already talked
Very
a little
much
bit
so.
about it, but what sort of stuff do you want to see?
I think I want to see more magic, more like magical creatures. Maybe throw me like a werewolf, a unicorn, something, dragon.
A centaur.
Yeah.
Centaur, yeah.
cool.
A fawn, why not? A
very
satyr,
nice.
Sure.
yeah.
Sure.
So that could all be great. I'm enjoying some of these little ships. I love the emotionally resonant episode like that we got at the end, and I'm looking forward to having another similarly, hopefully, poignant moment with someone at some point.
Well, it's not episode 4.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's probably fair. Though, if we do have a like you said, if we have a Gwen episode where we kind of examine raw Gwen, I hope we get some real stuff when we examine some people. Yeah.
What are you looking forward to?
I like these little kind of mini team-ups where characters that are kind of opposed have to kind of work together. So
Yeah.
I'd like to see a little bit more of that going forward. And I do kind of want to see a payoff to the end times thing. I wouldn't mind that.
Speaking of a payoff, Siberia Winks is nailing it in chat. They predict that Daniel is going to return in the last episode because, as David puts it in the song, "Let's end this in the finale." So that it's going to show back up in the finale and cause some maybe end times. Maybe we see Z-Moog. Maybe the aliens show up.
Oh man, maybe all of it.
I'm about it. Yeah.
Yes, into it.
Everybody wants more songs. Standing by Life, something
Agreed.
crazy. Charlotte and Jocelyn say, I really want the kids' parents to show up and be like, what is this camp? Which I totally agree.
Have like a Parents' Day episode.
Although at this point in where they are as campers, would they all work really hard to make it seem like the place they don't want their parents to take them away from?
Yeah,
Or would they be
probably.
kicking and screaming to get them pulled?
I would like to think that the parents are just as shitty as their kids.
Okay.
Even though
mean,
not all of the kids are shitty, there's some pure of heart people, but maybe they're just either bad parents or, like with Space Kid, he still gets to be 100% Space Kid. With Neris, she gets to be 100% Neris. So there's some people where maybe that might be a finale episode where
Right.
it's the possibility of the camp shutting down, or like one of the parents comes, makes like a health code complaint or whatever, and that ends up being everybody going, you know what, Camp Campbell is the place for you and me.
Yeah. It'd be a nice emotional wrap up for us.
It'd be beautiful.
so.
Gotta get back to those emotions.
I do want to see Campbell again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
was
pretty
fun.
sure we're going to be getting more of
I hope so.
Cam. He's just the best.
Oh, isn't he? He's
I wonder-
awful and
Best is
gross.
an
And I like it.
interesting adjective there.
Well, didn't he become the Prime Minister of Thailand? Or something?
Is that why he was off to Thailand?
Yeah.
Yeah?
He was in a
Okay.
poker game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
Papa's
right.
got a poker game to get
That's
to.
right.
That's what it was. I've watched these episodes way too many times.
Or never
There's nothing
enough.
wrong with
Or
that.
never enough.
Yeah.
I mean, if you need a lore historian of Camp Camp that isn't an employee, what up?
Boom. Beautiful.
That's good coffee. All right, now let's get to the moment y'all have been waiting for. Let's talk about some camp activities. Ta-da! Anyway, so for those of you who aren't familiar, last season, in between episodes, because we do have weeks to a month in between, in 3 weeks this season, in between our episodes of the Camp Camp After Show, we try to make it like a real summer camp and give you some camp activities to do from the comfort of your own home. So for this one, we actually have 3 options for camp activities. And for the first one, this would be a little bit of story time, a little, well, maybe not theater camp, whatever. This is for mental health camp. Why not? Have you ever met your doppelganger? Is there somebody that you went, it's way too eerie, they're just like me, I don't like, maybe not necessarily like an evil doppelganger or a cultist, but have you met your doppelganger? Write us a story, leave us a video on Twitter, and we'll play it on the show next time. And then for computer camp, probably not what you're expecting, we want you to turn yourself into a box robot like Nikki.
Aw, yeah.
Yep.
I like this.
Dude, so
Good
much
time.
fun being box robots.
I'm doing that.
You should.
Yeah, I probably will.
I'd love it.
Okay, then I'm just, okay, fine, I will.
No, because they're the one that I know you're going to do.
Okay.
Because technically you've already done
There
it.
is a third.
For Magic Camp, do you play a tabletop RPG?
Aw.
Do you have a character?
Aw.
Share your character in any way you feel appropriate. Draw it, LARP it. If you have the costume for your character, we want to see it. We want to see your character. Even if it's just sending your character sheet. We just want to know what your character is for your particular game. Andrew, I know you do.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, and I have a character too, but they're very fresh. They're very new.
Oh, that's
They're
okay.
no young little
Nothing
boy.
wrong with that.
I got a baby character too.
Nice.
Baby.
So everybody,
I love the babies.
I love the baby.
I love the babies.
So make sure if you want to take part in those camp activities, we would love to see it. Just make sure that you send it to us as soon as you can, so that we can include it in our next show. And on our next show, all of our camp counselors are going to share one or more of these. We need to make sure that there's enough time that we can cover the episodes, and we're trying to get guests as well. But unless y'all have anything else that you would like to talk about Camp Campbell. Just because with the nature of this show and the nature of our hosts, and we don't know, we're gonna stay on Wednesdays, but we're trying to change the time to be a little bit earlier and just have the Camp Camp After Show is a lot of fun. If you haven't watched season 1, go watch season 1. But anything else that y'all would like to add?
More Camp all the time.
Yeah,
it's just general film.
Just download it and watch it.
Yeah, it's a dope show. It's a hilarious show. That last song at the end of 3 is my new jam,
dude.
The Bard's Tales, so dope.
Yeah, Richie Branson has been doing a lot of stuff for them. Sad news, but immediate happy news. Last year he was diagnosed with cancer, and the first line from the first song at the end of episode 1 was, "I beat cancer, now I'm back to so and so." So he's healed. He's better.
That's awesome.
He did it. He nailed it.
Good job.
Which is good. I would like to see him incorporated with an episode.
Yeah.
Be a hip hop camp kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hip hop kid.
Wonderful. Yeah,
That'd be
branching
awesome.
out.
Like
R&B kid.
All right, old school like Run DMC with the tracksuits and the cardboard and whatever.
Love it.
Yeah. Before we go, just checking out if anybody else has any more. Nope. So the amount of people that we had just like across the country has been magical. I love all you campers. Thank you so much for joining us on this first episode back of Camp Camp. Before we go, one last update. We are going to be at RTX this weekend. Sorry, Andrew, but we are going to be at RTX this weekend. We have a panel on Friday at 2:30, and we have 3 guests. We've got Jen Brown, who is the voice of Arid. She is the voice of Arid on Camp Camp, as well as Carolina from Red vs. Blue, as well as Pyrrha from Ruby. And we have Shannon McCormick, who is the quartermaster, who is Wash, and Professor Ozpin. And announcing our 3rd guest, Samantha Ireland, big friend of the show, absolutely adore her. She is the Flower Scouts Nora and CT, but she isn't. There's reasons why she's not on Red vs. Blue anymore, but that was like 6 seasons ago, so whatever. Yeah, her character died. Anyway, we're gonna have spoilers. Years ago. God.
Next time, tell me who Luke's father is.
I will tell you this. So it's going to be Sam, Jen, and Shannon. We absolutely adore them. They're taking time out of their busy schedules to join us on the panel. So please make sure if you're at RTX, it's asking a lot to miss the Ruby panel. But if you're a first member, there's going to be a second one on Sunday. That's the one we're going to. So you can hang out with us all weekend. But make sure to join us at the panel. If you're not going to be at RTX, we're going to find out all of the streaming information, and we're going to tweet it out from ABTV Rooster Team. We're going to be around. We're going to be doing interviews. We're going to reveal who we're going to be having interviews soon. Screw it, why not? We've got Jordan Swears and Issa Bediolo from Camp Camp. We've got Miles Luna and I'm forgetting. Why am I? And Cole Gallion from a very lot of different shows.
Very lot.
There's so many people that do so many things at Rooster Teeth. And then
Mark is dying.
I'm about to lose my voice, so instead, damn it, just follow us on Twitter, and we'll let you know who we're interviewing, and then you can tweet us your questions. We'll ask them to them on the date. Thank you so much. But before we go, everybody, where can the folks find you? And what other shows do you do at the show? At the network. I'm sorry.
I'm Andrew Mena. You can find me on Twitter at Andrew Mena, on Instagram at the Andrew Mena, and if you want to find me on other shows here at AfterBuzz, you can also find me on Dark Matter. That's Sunday's show. Also on Wrecked, which is also a Sunday show. And if Bob's Burgers ever decides to come back, I'll still be on that show.
Didn't it get confirmed back for
It's coming back, but they have a really silly schedule with airing. And it's mostly that.
It's pretty silly. Yeah. Stacey.
Guys, I'm Stacey Shuttleworth. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Stacey Shuttles, or all over the web at Nerds Doing Stuff. I'll be at RTX this weekend and Comic-Con in 2 weeks, so lots of cons going on.
Way too many cons.
Not enough cons.
Well, especially the heat doesn't help.
Yes, that's true.
You can find me on Twitter at hold on.
Have a lozenge.
Like,
Make a little
we're getting him back. Here he comes.
You can find me on Twitter at Mark Donica. We're going to be tweeting out all of our schedules throughout the course of RTX. It's one of our favorite parts of the year to go out and say hi to the crew and say hi to the fans and just be in that world for a little bit. I'm going to have so much Torchy Tacos, and you can keep an eye on that using the hashtag. On the ABTV Rooster Team is the Twitter account you should be following. We're going to be back in 3 weeks for Camp Camp, and then the week after that will be Red vs. Blue. We also just started the Little Witch Academia after show. Stacey and I did.
Ooh.
Did you not know that?
No, I didn't.
Do you want?
It's a thing. It is happening.
I just watched the first episode the other day.
It's so delightful, isn't it?
It is super delightful.
If you want to hear us talk all about it, head on over to that, unless you're tired. But
in which case, pause it and then nap and then come back to it.
Exactly. Find us on iTunes. Make sure to leave us a comment. It lets the producers here know that you want to see more Rooster Teeth content, and we love doing it. We love getting guests on here for you, and that lets the guests know that this is a place for them to come in, and we're trying to get them this season. So make sure to stay tuned to the AfterBuzz TV Camp Camp After Show. Thank you so much for watching the Camp Camp After Show right here on AfterBuzz TV, and we'll see you at RTX Campadium!
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.